Okay, Tammy, I think we're live now.
Well, hello, good afternoon. Marvelous Monday to you, Mr. Gallant. Comment ça va?
Ça va très bien, merci beaucoup.
Ça va bien, merci. So
Excellent.
here we are once again. I have the privilege of being up close and personal with you again, Mr. Gallant. And I have to tell you that Atlanta for Success is so happy to have you as a member. For those of you who don't know what Atlanta for Success is, it's a platform that brings people and business together. We have a number of areas where people can participate in business, from membership to being a co-author to showing up, promoting your business for free at our online virtual networking events, as well as we take a little bit more consideration in with you in mind when we do series like this. And we have a lot of members who have a lot to offer the whole entire world. And so Mr. Gallant is one of the members who is taking full advantage and use all of his membership privileges. Have you done the blog writing yet, Mr. Gallant? Have you started doing writing?
No, I haven't done that yet, but
Okay, well,
soon to come.
with all this knowledge that you're sharing with the good people, I know they are anxiously waiting for your blogs. So I look forward to that. Please, without further ado, let me give you a proper introduction. Mr. Jean-Pierre Gallant is the CEO of CU Market
Complete,
and
complete.
Complete. And also, you're the co founder of Market to Market.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so there's so many accolades beside your name, so I'm getting like a little tongue tied and a little blurred here. So, how about you get a chance to tell the individuals exactly what you do as the co founder of Market to Market, as well as the CEO? Um, there's a lot to be said about that when individuals like you work in a space, business, finance, helping aspiring entrepreneurs as well as business owners established, even in the hiring side of things. You've done so many different things globally. So can you just share a little bit more about yourself in maybe 2 minutes, and then get into what the good people get to look forward to during your session today?
Absolutely. So, Complete CU Services is a consulting firm uh, and internal audit firm. So, we do internal audits for a number of financial institutions across Canada. And we also do consulting for financial institutions and different corporations or small businesses internationally. So we've got an excellent amount of professionals that work with us, and we have expertise in every type of industry. So and soon to come, market to market, which is project that we have a platform for loan participation. So this is a meeting place. It's kind of a virtual market for mortgage brokers, commercial mortgage brokers, deposit brokers, private investors, and being able to put on their loans onto this platform and getting a multitude of financial institutions to kind of bid on those loans. As well, financial institutions can sell their portfolio through securitization, which is something that is only offered right now with insured products through CMHC. But this allows them to go through and sell any type of portfolio that they wish to have to access liquidity. So that's kind of the overview. So we're pretty much generalists, but also specialists and tailor everything that we do to our customer, which is the most important for us.
Wow, so amazing. So again, everybody, get your pens, your notepads, get ready to take some notes. You'll be able to reach Mr. Gallant. He's got a LinkedIn page. we're going to put down his contact information here towards the end as well, but he is a member of Land for Success. Right now, we have more than 14,000 individuals in this space. And then we have an exclusive area if you want to be an insider with Land for Success special group for our paid members. If you're interested in knowing more about that, you can reach out to myself or anyone else on the executive team, which you'll see all of the names there in Land for Success. We'll actually post that here for you. So, Mr. Gallant, can you maybe share just something before we get into your segue? What it is you like about Land for Success? Maybe 30 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you, this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Landed for Success. Wouldn't be able to promote our company and our firm as much as we've done in the past three episodes. The other thing that I find, which is was really good, these episodes are also recorded and podcasts are issued on the LinkedIn Landed for Success page. It gives me access to a number of contacts. Um, One of the things that I enjoy is every month the networking event. Before it used to be live in person, but since the pandemic, it's been through video conferencing. And everybody has a 30-second elevator to introduce themselves, introduce their company for 30 seconds, and gives a great opportunity for cross pollination of different types of services that are available and the members that are part of Landed for Success. So it's been fantastic in terms of, you know, meeting different CEOs or business owners or even business partnerships, and it's been a world of good in terms of referencing and helping each other out, right?
Yeah, just amazing. And I mean, from your business experience, I mean, have you been a part of other networking groups?
Yes, in the past, I was a member of Chamber of Commerce and that sort of thing, but it's it was hard to, there's so many different. When you go to the Chamber of Commerce, as an example, um, you're kind of searching for the match. Whereas in this particular setup, the networking events, everybody presents what they do for a living, and it allows you to connect with them directly. And then you can set up a meeting through either Zoom or what have you, or a telephone call. So that's the greatest advantage, is that you don't have to go through several Chamber of Commerce meetings as an example, although now it's kind of not there, not a lot of live events are being held. But
Yes.
yeah, that's some of the advantages, definitely, through that networking event. That's been very positive.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different, right? I mean, as a gifting sponsor, you get a chance to be featured and highlighted. You get a couple of minutes. I know from other networking events, we paid $1,000 to get into the front of the room, and most people then go to the washroom, washroom break. You know,
Right.
so we spend all that money and get there. But I'm glad that you have some good feedback about it. And people, listen, don't take our advice and don't believe us. Just show up for yourself for our next event. The free online networking event taking place the last Thursday of this month, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll also put that in the thread, and you can go to www.landedforsuccess.com /events. So without further ado, Mr. Gallant, can you please get into the meat and potatoes of this? I have my pen and paper ready, and I'm ready to pick your brain. I'm going to do my best to keep us on time because your time is valuable, just like everyone else that's joined us. So everyone, grab your seats. Go ahead, Mr. Gallant.
All right, so here we go. So this is the third episode. I just wanted to mention that the contents in this presentation is protected under the Canadian Intellectual Property Copyright Registration number 1168379. exceptions to stock images, photos, as well as definitions of different subjects in this presentation. If ever you have questions concerning any, please give us a call at or please document the coordinates
Mm-hmm.
that are issued on the screen. I'm sorry, I think my microphone just kind of tuned out there for a second.
Oh, that's okay.
Uh,
Technology. I know you're here with
yes,
us.
already explained a little bit who we are. We've got 30 years experience in financial service industry, and we all started at entry levels of financial institutions. Greatest experience in my career has been really working in financing small businesses and up to corporations and capital markets. Um, so today we're going to be talking about. We've already gone through business risk, to
Yes.
risk or not to risk, tone at the top, and this is market your market. So this is one of the most interesting segments of the episodes because we're really going to get down to the nitty gritty, show some interesting examples.
Oh,
So, one of
perfect.
the most important things is to name your business. What's in the name of your business? What small businesses should you? What small businesses should try to avoid things like initials? So, as an example here, um, if I were to say, okay, Pierre Jean Gallant, chartered accountant. So if I were to say the name of my company is going to be PJGCA, it could be perceived as Pajama God of California. Uh, doesn't doesn't have any signification. So it's preferable for businesses to use wording that represents your product or your service, unless you already have a very prominent company that everybody knows your name, such as like McDonald's or Google or what is part of the dictionary right now, like Google. When Google started out, uh, or Yahoo, what type of name was that affiliated with? But it grew to a point where it became part of the dictionary, right? So just to give you an example of what we've done, and if we were to start over, I would not have the same name for Complete CU Services that I do now. The reason why we chose Complete CU Services is that our main clientele was credit unions.
Oh.
So credit unions call themselves CUs for short. So that was the idea behind it. But we also wanted a name where we could kind of have a diverse definition. So we thought, well, complete customized unique services is the type of service that we're doing as well,
Mm-hmm.
or complete consulting unique services. So the CU can change definitions. So that was the incorporation. But one of the things that I do regret is that it is a little bit long. So our emails, as an example, is at Complete CU Services, and it's very long. So when you don't have a lot of time, sometimes people make mistakes on it. They don't understand, and if it were to start over, I would probably have changed the name. The logo, so for us, complete, and then there's an arrow CU, and then another arrow
Mm.
services, kind of represents the type of consulting that we do, which means that it's process analysis,
Okay.
efficiency analysis, etc. So when we came out with market to market, this was really plain and simple what it is. It's a market that it's a inventory of financial service products, facilities that are in one market. So that one pretty much identifies what it's all about. So we like that name a lot.
Yeah, a lot of companies miss this mark, because
Right.
they have favorite words, they have the acronyms, like you said, and you don't even know what they really do.
Exactly. Well, if we look back at these logos here, you've got Starbucks,
Yes.
Wikipedia, you've got Google, you've got Pepsi, and
Mm-hmm.
7-Eleven, and the other one that's in the left corner there,
Yes.
that's the London Olympics.
Wow.
So maybe we wouldn't know that one, but if you just came up with the Starbucks one, it looks like a lady that has a crown. So there's no real definition, but everybody knows that logo
Well,
now.
you know why? They know it because they spent a lot of money on marketing.
Right, exactly. And they had a product that was kind of unique back in those
Mm-hmm.
days. There were some coffee shops, but they were mostly Van Hoot here in Canada.
Yes.
And this just took off in Seattle, in 1994, 93. And 7-Eleven, which is really that's an interesting one because they're
Yes.
open 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
from 7 to 11, 7 days a week.
Yes.
And Pepsi, obviously everybody knows that one, although they did change their logo over the last couple of years.
Yes.
um, but everybody understands that what that logo represents. So that's all to say that
Yeah.
if you have a bookkeeping company, or whatever you're doing, until you get to the point where you're very well known, try not to use names that don't describe what you do as a business.
Yeah, like name it
Otherwise,
after your pet.
yeah, exactly. So if I were to, we have a pet, we have a Gatito. He's a very great cat, but that means small kitten. So if we're
Wow.
going to say Gatito Enterprises, and we sell, you know, we sell cups for signature cups. If we wouldn't put Gatito's signature cups in back of it, then it doesn't mean anything. So
Yes.
chances of being seen on Google, chances of search engines, comes into play. Um, Here's an
You're talking my
example.
language there about the search engines. Don't get me started about that.
Yeah, exactly. So here's an example of what a logo would be. These are today you can find logos anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and actually just pay a couple of bucks to get a few examples. Like here, you see at the bottom left, it says your name, and so business, and then it says the business name. So that would be fine for a restaurant, delivery, anything
Mm-hmm.
with restoration, or that you're selling, cuisine. You're selling some sort of kitchen accessories, etc. The one on the right, it could be sporting.
Yeah.
Could be something where I don't know, a trip to Colorado where there's mountains. It could be different things, but you wouldn't use those logos as an example to for books, right? If you're
No.
selling books or if you're selling internet services, it wouldn't have any consistency with your product. So it's important that it kind of aligns. It doesn't have to be 100%,
Yes.
but that people recognize that on the right side maybe you're selling sunglasses. That could be a match for that.
Yeah, that's true.
So um, one important or a couple of important things here, a couple of sayings that I really believe in. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. That was by Benjamin Franklin. So what that means is basically, if you don't plan, then how are you gonna make it, right? So that's where a lot of entrepreneurs or a lot of businesses, they'll do a business plan and they'll verify their strengths and their weaknesses, etc. They'll look at it 1 year when they start up, and then they won't follow up on it because that changes every second of the day, especially in our world. Very important to plan and keep it up to date, monitor it, etc. The other one is, do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got up again. That's by Nelson Mandela. What
Yes.
that, to me, in this perspective, it means that, you know what, uh, having a business is not always going to go smoothly. And I wouldn't want anybody to think that's, it's very, very easy, although, it's been beneficial. You're going to lose contracts. You're going to lose, it's a learning experiences. But as long as you get back up again, it may take several times. You'll get it right at the end. This one, one of my favorites. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. There's controversy on who came up with that, but I put Wayne Gretzky, which was one of them that used this. That's brilliant.
Yes.
If you don't try, then you're not gonna succeed.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
so, this is a great, even in hockey, I love this. If you don't take a shot on goal, then you don't know if it's going to go in or not. You're just not taking the shot. So just take the shot. So the same thing with businesses. Just, if you're working for a large company, you have some good ideas, but you're always like, I have a friend of mine actually that I spoke to last week. I said, he says, I'm 50 years old, I'm having problems getting a job, etc. My age and this and that. And I said, why don't you start a business? And he's like,
Yes.
well, I'm not an entrepreneur and I don't feel like that. I was not either. I used to, cringe when I would hear, oh, start your own business. But here I am, an entrepreneur, and I would never go back to, so it doesn't matter what your background is, you can do it. If you
And
put your mind,
that's an interesting point that you make there, Mr. Gallant, because many of us have worked at jobs and we have so much experience and a wealth of knowledge. And once people realize that that's your specialized knowledge, that that's your intellectual property, right?
absolutely.
So you can use that to create opportunities as well as income sources for yourself if you're not in that job. So I'm glad you said that to him because you're never too old, to start a business. That's
Exactly.
great.
Exactly. And yeah, so he's in Switzerland. There's a lot of regulations, etc. But I,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of pointers, and I planted a seed, right? So
Yes.
see what happens. So this is a SWOT analysis. So this, every company, regardless if you're starting out, this should be done continuously because things change so rapidly. So strengths, things that your company does well. You just sit down with your staff, or if it's sole ownership, think about this. What makes your company do so well, or why would somebody be interested in your company?
Yes.
Qualities that separate you from your competitors. This
I
is,
love this.
so if you sell, I don't know, let's say you're selling pens.
Yeah.
There's, you can get a pen anywhere, right? You can get a pen at Dollarama, even though that pens are getting rare. So if you're launching a pen today in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
well, what does it do? Does it have a camera on it? I would be interested in the camera on it,
James Bond. James Bond,
Exactly.
007.
But if it's just a regular pen, what's the difference? What does it make? And you've got to make sure that individuals appreciate that. Like a Mont Blanc has always been known as a very classy pen, but you know what? Parker pen writes just as well. I'm not. I don't want to get sued by Mont Blanc. it,
one of my favorites, one of my staple favorites, growing up and going to school was Papermate.
right, exactly. Paper Mate. I love those ones. Yes.
But now as a woman, I love my bling. So I have been gifted a couple of pens with the Swarovski crystals in it. So now my pens have to have a little bling with it.
Right. So there's internal resources. You have the knowledgeable staff, tangible assets, which is intellectual
Yes.
property, capital, weaknesses, things your company lacks. So every
Yes.
company has weaknesses, things that your competitors do better than you. You have to be very humble when you do this exercise.
Okay.
Resource limitations, unclear, unique selling propositions, opportunities. So, undeserved market for specific products, few competitors in your area, emerging needs for your product or your service. Uh, so when you look at that, opportunities, would you open up a bookstore today? When most of the bookstores that we used to know are now selling different things than books. So you got to be relevant to whatever is relevant in today's market. Um, Emerging risks, so emerging competitors, changing regulatory environment, negative press. That's huge. Negative press or
Yes.
reputational risk, changing customer attitudes towards your company. So if we were to look back 20 years ago and you start a company within that frame of mind in those days, today you wouldn't survive. It would not be anywhere near what what is relevant in today's world. Um, so the strategic plan includes the SWOT, so that analysis we just said, other data like internal reports. How are you managing your sales? If you have complaints, that's one of the best things that you can do to kind of help your business along. When you get complaints from your customers, take them down and try to see how you can better yourself. Those are like really, they're free. Sometimes they're not always great to receive. They're kind of hard on the ego, but I'll tell you something. If you listen to your customers and to your clients, you're gonna be able to adapt to what is necessary to change your own either values of the company or mandates. Strategic options, which way you're going to go. Uh, so notice that everything there is all soft skills. Everything,
Yes.
and when I say soft skills, I mean by human behavior. So what comes last is okay, your budget, how you're going to measure your income, etc., and what's your real, projected income. So it has nothing to do really like the basis of your company or your small business or your individual ownership is really about your attitude, your values, and how you're going to bring this through to the market.
Okay, sorry. I can't see you anymore. Are we having a technical glitch here?
You can't see me
No,
anymore.
I'm unable to see you.
Okay.
And I like looking at you. I'm sure everyone else does too.
You
I can
see,
see your sign, but I can't see you anymore.
do you see the you do see the
Complete
slides?
CU services.
You don't see the slides?
I see the slides, but I don't see you.
Oh, okay.
Where'd you go?
I think I hid the
Okay. All right. I just want you to know that we can't see. We can just hear your voice if that's what you want. Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Oops.
Something that you touched on there about criticism. I love your perspective on that. Would you say that it's still true in the business world now that for almost every one concern a customer may air to you, there's about 10 or 12 that don't mention it to you? And do you really believe that, You know, really and truly, like bad news spreads quicker than good news. I love that you said that it's opportunity. I think of it as an opportunity as well to grow and adapt. What is that really how people are seeing it when you're consulting so many businesses and you're working with so many types of businesses? How are they feeling about that?
Well, there, it's it's really. I feel that there's a lot of bad perception, and I'll show you an example of that. I think it's in the next slide,
Okay.
where Nestle responded to somebody, and you can see it's totally at it, and it's frustrating a lot of people the way that they present it. Uh,
Okay.
so we'll get to that. So strategic plan 2020. So right around the corner from here, there's a new sports store that's opening up in a mall where there used to be a Sears. So
Okay.
I just looking at it. So this is one of the articles that came out. What's going on here? French sporting goods retailer coming to Burlington. French sporting good retailer moving into Mapleview Center. Research is done prior to the store's opening, according to whatever Julien Deschâteaux of Decathlon Canada. So this project started September 2019. What do you think? Like, so now with the pandemic, nobody going to stores, people ordering online. They're opening, like they're building this is the entire Sears 55,000 square foot place, which is kind of totally irrelevant to what individuals are now looking for in terms of consumer, right? In terms
Yes.
of buying their products. So, wow, what a difference between probably February 2020 and March 2020,
Oh, yes.
right? So everything closed down. So that's why you have to stay so relevant. If any of these companies don't have any online shopping, then you're not competitive anymore.
Hmm. Is not the truth.
So here's what we're offering in terms of social media marketing course. So
Okay.
starting this one starts the 9th of November. What we're going to be doing is
Okay.
really helping tailored packages for your company to explain. It's 4 hours, four courses of 1.5 hour courses,
Okay.
step by step to advertising and marketing your business on social media. We'll be doing consulting with you to identify your target market, etc., and how to actually do the things, how to place your company on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, etc., depending on the type of business that you have. Or option two, which is going to be group sessions for $195,
Mm-hmm.
3 1.5 hour courses, overview of setting up your social media, tools available to determine your market. So just contact us by info at Complete CU Services for more details, or you can look on our Facebook page, and we have the two different options available there. Um, so here's the example that I was telling you, Tammy. So
Yes.
some individual put the Nestle logo on his Facebook profile, and instead of thinking of the opportunity that Nestle would have, because they're using their logo as my face. So if I'm putting Nestle, the company, on my profile instead of my own face,
Yes.
so instead, Nestle got into this. So this was the review, and Nestle says, "Hey, you can't use our logo like that unless you modify it. It belongs to us." And then the guy says, "Well, you're not making any friends by saying this." And then they keep on saying, "Well, thanks for giving us a lesson, but you know what? You have to consider that you have to tear this page down. You have to stop publicizing it." And it just gets into a big fight. So, so this is not, this is social media policy gone wrong. This is not the way to address. I would actually look at it the other way around. And if I was Nestle, I'd go, you know what? Um, Thank you for putting that. And what made you put that there? It's got to be positive. Nobody's going to, I would never put the name of a company unless I really believed in it as my profile photo. So it's very important that you don't get defensive when you get reviews, or that you see something and say, hey, I own that. And how could that, think of what the positive aspects of it could be.
Yeah, I see your point. I guess the other side of it is when someone uses that, how are they showing up? And from a company standpoint, they'd want to make sure that what the person is posting is in alignment with what the company represents. And I have heard and I've seen some of those things go really bad. And then that brand ends up being a little tarnished because of someone not being in alignment, but they love that brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand exactly what you're saying. But when you're trying to deal with that individual, when it's public, you know, back and forth,
Yeah, it's a different approach. They need to take a
that's
different
very
approach. I agree with you.
and I don't think the person that was in charge of writing back to this individual um, consulted their colleagues or whatnot.
Yes.
It's kind of harming them and making them, because Nestle, believe it or not, is one of the biggest companies in the world. They're into everything, baby food,
Oh,
to
yeah.
tea, to products. It's humongous corporation out of Switzerland.
And that's a big lesson for business communication.
Yeah,
Most
and it's
people don't have the tact or the diplomacy to communicate properly. So, yeah, you're right. They could have used a different approach for sure. I agree with you.
so all that in perspective. And I don't want to depress anybody, but
Well, we're not getting depressed because it's Monday,
right,
and Monday is where we have miracles happen. So this is not going to depress anybody. I just want to let you know the time we're at. We're at 12:40. So I just wanted to know we're going to have to move pretty quickly, and I might be saying, okay, our time is up, Mr. Gallant. How much more
absolutely
can you skip through some of these things? And the good people have to continue with you in your private sessions that you're offering, which is amazing value.
perfect. Okay, so what can we expect from the world in 2030? So I just want to go through quickly the AI, so artificial intelligence, and what is coming in the
Yes.
future and what's happening actually now. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not to scare anybody, but it's just to take this into consideration. So if you're a member or a part of my generation, we've gone through all these. So these are actual cell phones, 1992, 96, up to 2010 when the smartphone came out. You know, we had one phone for the family. It would ring. You had to be there if you needed to answer it. There was no voicemail. Uh, Kids today, they don't understand the concept, but you had to be in a certain location in order to get a phone call. So that's within the last 28 years. What
Yes.
has happened to us since the year 2000? So kids would have been born in 2000, they wouldn't know any of this. But okay, first of all, the phone, TV, sitcoms, movie, drama. We would only watch TV, and it only happened a certain time of the year. What's the comparison today? Netflix, Crave, YouTube. No, not a lot of people watch TV. Um, we would go to movie theaters, VHS movies, rentals, music, records, CD. Napster was the first kind of application that you could actually listen to music online.
Yes.
There's Netflix, Crave, YouTube, iMovies, Google Play, Cineplex, Amazon, you name it. Ordering pizza was done by the phone. Now you can do it online. Radio, TV news, and weather. The only place you could get your weather, aside from the newspaper as well, which is another antiquated
Oh boy, yeah.
old thing. Now you get it online. You don't even have to wait for an announcement or the announcer. You just find it online. Cash has been replaced by debit, email transfers, payments, and banking is all done online today, where you had to go to a physical place between 10 and 3 to get some money out of the bank on a Friday. You can do everything online or withdraw directly.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these logos have only been around for about 20 years.
20 years, yes.
All of these logos, but we know what they signify. So here's something incredible. When we're thinking about retail purchasing, this is already halfway implemented. So this is an Amazon page. So within the next 4 years or even less, right now, so if I were to go hover over this all new Echo Dot with clock with my cursor, in 3 to 4 years, I'm going to get a ring at the door, and the product's going to be there, and I haven't bought it yet. They will come to the door with this Echo Dot clock and say, "Here's the product, Mr. Gallant. Try it out for the next 2 weeks, and if you don't like it, send it back." So what does that do? I've just hovered over a product, and then all of a sudden I get it at the door.
Mm.
So this is how advanced consumerism is, that Amazon has already, put out the retailer, knocked out distribution. They
Yes.
take the distribution directly to the client. So and they do that with drones. So that's pretty advanced. So this is happening. This is going to happen within the next, you know, 2, 3 years.
Yes.
This happened in 2015, where there was a gentleman paraplegic. His name was Rodrigo. Um, so what they did with Rodrigo, he got shot in the back and became a paraplegic, and they were able with IA to make him. He was able to drive a car with his mind.
Wow.
F1 car with his mind. Reverse, advance, turn right, turn left, etc. Incredible.
That is
So
incredible.
it is incredible. And that was a few years ago. So that's just to say that we're not talking about the Jetsons in the future. This has actually been invented 5 years ago.
Wow.
This young man here in the UK, this was also 2015, 18-year-old Joshua Browder. He was a college student, and he would get parking tickets all the time, like most college students do. And a lot of people that don't even go to college after college, right? So this guy was so fed up of receiving all these parking violations, that he invented an app, and the app actually was able to eliminate all the parking violations. So he screwed up the whole
Wow.
system in London in order to destroy all of these parking tickets. So it was called do not pay.co.uk.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, and this individual now, in 2019, 2020, he's developed an application he's now in the States, to, if you have a small claims court or whatever, all the legal documentation you need in 52 states. You can actually have access to it, and you can defend yourself through all this documentation without any cost to yourself.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're talking about, this guy is born in 1997. Okay. So,
1997?
right. So this is, he developed this when he's a very young man, right? He was like 18, 17. So this is the type of individuals that, okay, so this guy, you might say, oh, well, he was lazy, he didn't want to, but you know what? He developed an app because he was against something. So that's the young generation today are very, very savvy,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes them just something to motivate that and to change a way of doing things. So the whole legal system, I'm not saying it's going to collapse, but he's found ways for all of these individuals that have, small claims courts or whatever litigations, an app that will help you and win. And I think the statistics, if you want to Google him, is
Yeah.
incredible. I think his documentation has won, like, something crazy, like 75% of anybody who uses that documentation and his app win in court, which is
Wow.
superior to any lawyer. So, you know, I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to say that things are so advanced, and the younger generation are advancing it like at light speed. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to realize when we're, either an older person, to surround yourself with younger people, to be able to, grasp on to what's important for my kids, for your kids, for the younger generation, because we're still, well, we still want to go to a bank. We still want to go inside bricks and mortar to order stuff. But the newer, younger generation, because they've never experienced those things, you know, they don't want to go into, they have apps, like one of the great ones is Uber Eats,
Yes.
or um,
Skip the dishes.
Skip the Dishes, right? So you can order anything without actually going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different world, very different world. Again, so these are the courses that we'll be launching.
Okay, perfect.
So you can either go on our Facebook page or send us a request via email at info@completecuservices.com, and we can arrange, to meet. Our next session episode
Yes.
is going to be next week, at the same time, same place. Facebook at noon. And actually, no, next week it's on the Tuesday, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think we got the
Because it's a long
Thanksgiving
weekend.
holiday. Yeah,
Right, right.
so that's okay. So if anyone wants to reach you, they can reach you on Facebook, Pierre Jean Gallant, and then also on LinkedIn, correct? Under your name or your company name?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And then, of course, to actually meet him and hear more about him, you want to connect with him in our business platform for aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners lined up for success. If you have not been to any of our networking events, there's no place like it. You can go and promote your business for free. You don't have to drive anywhere. There's no lineups. You get a chance to actually pitch, your business. I mean, Mr. Gallant said it best when he says one of the platforms that he finally has a chance to network individuals, and he's been a part of so many other networking groups and didn't even get a chance to know what people were doing at the in-person events. And that's really true. Sometimes you're lucky you've got like two or three people that you actually speak with. The setting is so great. We do a wonderful job of highlighting co-authors. We have a great area for anyone who wants to promote their business At the next level, as a gifting sponsor, we actually have a couple of minutes, 2 minutes, which is golden for you to share more about how you're helping people, who your ideal client is. Now, Mr. Gallant is not just a member of Line for Success, he's also has been many times a gifting sponsor. He said some great things about Line for Success. I mean, look, you don't have to listen to me. You just heard his testimonial. Mr. Gallant, will you be at our next event? It's coming up on the 29th,
Yeah,
7 p.m. to
absolutely.
9 p.m. If you have not registered, please register. Go now, www.landedforsuccess.com/events. Take a look at how people are participating with Landed for Success. Again, we're all about bringing people and business together globally. So think about this as a local platform, but you actually can expand your business and connections globally. There's nothing else like it. So, Mr. Gallant, can you give the people a couple of words as to why they should be a member with Leonard for Success?
Well, absolutely. Well, this is one of the greatest benefits. You get to be interviewed. There's constant attention on the membership, and as Tammy mentioned, on the networking platform, there's people from all over the world. There's
Yeah,
people.
Mexico, England.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, this thing is it's taken off. It's at the beginning. So if you're there in the beginning, you imagine what it's going to be like in the future. So, you know, definitely, um, there's nothing more I can say to convince individuals, but uh, it's all the time that has been taken, um, from the individual, great individual landing for success, the connections I've made, and you know what, it's really for the price right
Yeah,
now.
the price, honestly, can you just tell the good people how much you paid to be a member of Leonard for Success, getting uh, interviews, getting spotlight as a gifting sponsor, and now having your own mini series to the whole Land for Success community. Sorry, how much did you pay?
I paid $100.
Oh, that's not right. I honestly now, and you have been member of other networking groups, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you ever been interviewed?
No.
Okay, there you go. So listen, don't have to listen to me. You can hear it from one of the members right here.
I'll tell you
Visit us.
another thing, folks. Our episodes, some of them have been viewed over 26,000 times. I can teach you how to do that with our course, but where could I have, I would have had to pay for TV. Well, nobody watches TV anymore. Radio,
That's
who
true.
listens to radio anymore? But where could I have gotten this visibility from 26,000 people who viewed one of our episodes? Come on, $100? Really? Obviously, this is a special they have until they reach 200 members,
200 lifetime membership, correct.
lifetime
Now we're
membership.
almost there. We're almost
Almost
there.
there.
So definitely you
But
want to check that out.
even if the following price after they've reached their goal is, what is it going to be, Tammy?
Well, I want to make it $1,000, but we're still going to keep it at the $100 price point, but it will be a renewal every year.
Right.
And the people that are grandfathered in right now with the membership for a lifetime, they're actually going to benefit probably the most. We're still going to always have offerings for everyone. And it's great because you can figure out, which way you want to participate. I often tell people that, have that little thing out there, try before you buy. Don't do that with this.
Right.
Because we
And
have over 14,000 in the non-paid group, and we're really creeping up to our number of lifetime membership. I mean, $100 to be interviewed, promotional marketing pieces created by Samantha Glass, your bio being edited by the chief and editor, Gabby Abdel there. Kelly Chanceau, who does so many great interviews of everyone on her show, Inspired from the Inside Out. And of course, we have our co-founders, I mean, Gordon and Jay, I mean, just unbelievable. So yeah, I actually, I can't say enough about this platform. So I'm so happy that you love it as well.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Miracle Monday, and we will see you next Tuesday. I guess it'll be Tickle Tuesday.
Pickle Tuesday. Thanks a lot.
Bye
Take care.
bye, everybody.